to another 31 Days of Horror 2019 video, Toronto After Dark edition. Yes, we are back to Toronto After Dark and 31 Days of Horror because it's zombie night, yes. And for the first film, we're going Asian. We are going foreign film with South Korea and Odd Family Zombie on Sale. I don't even... I could probably look up what the original title was, but it would be in Korean and I would just butcher it, so let's not do that. Yeah, this film is, well, let's just say, if you've watched a lot of Korean films, this film has a lot of the stereotypical Korean tropes in it, but it also does a few non-stereotypical things. It does have the melodrama that you would find in a Korean film, but the ending may not be what you expect. We'll just leave it at that, in case, you are an aficionado of Korean film. But yes, so what is this film about? Well, essentially, these are zombies created by pharmaceutical companies. Yes, so a pharmaceutical company does some illegal experiments and inadvertently creates a zombie. And the film starts off with this teenage boy zombie coming out of, I guess he was dumped in a field or something like that, because he's in a PVC or plastic barrel buried in the ground, and he comes out of that, and he makes his way into a small little villagey type area, where the Park family, made up of a father, a daughter, two sons, and a daughter-in-law, live. And yeah, they they figure out that this dude is essentially a zombie, and they decide to profit off of him any way they can. You see, this particular family, well, they own a gas station, and it used to be a nice new gas station, probably prosperous, but times have gotten tough and the gas station isn't really working. It's not a working gas station anymore. It's a little run down, and yeah, so they are making money any which way they can with whatever scam they can come up with. And when this zombie lands in their lap, they decide that, hey, we're going to figure out how to make money with this zombie. And eventually that leads to the zombie apocalypse. So, yeah. That's essentially the film. There's a lot more, details in it, but if to go into that would be spoilerific. And I would love to tell you about them, because I would love to comment about a lot of different things, but we're not going to go there. The film is just under 2 hours long. It's directed by Lee Min-jae, who, this is his first film, as far as I know. Yeah, first film. This was a labor of love. It's an independent Korean film. You don't get too many of those, so there is a possibility that it may not be something you can track down. Hopefully somebody like Wellgo or something like that picks this up for distribution. I think it would be right up their alley and definitely worthwhile. But yeah, it's hard to say with independent foreign films. It's harder to see them, in North America and such. So if it does happen to play at a festival or something near you, a review cinema or something like that, I suggest checking out, because there's no guarantee that it'll be available anywhere else. So that's my little piece of advice. The film stars a bunch of people I don't know, because I don't know if these guys are famous in Korean cinema or not, but we got Jae Young Jong, Garam Jong, Nam Gil Kim, Soo Kyung Lee, Ji Won and probably about 100 other people, because like everybody in the village is like in this movie. But yeah, so this film, oddly enough, it's a comedy. It's a zombie film. It's a zombie apocalypse comedy film. But it's also a rom-com. Yes, Toronto After Dark's third rom-com. I called it last video their third rom-com in 3 days. Now, this being a Korean film, you kind of get that. Almost all Korean films kind of fall into that rom-com category to a certain degree, because there's always a love story of some sort in them. So it's not your standard rom-com. And it's not even like your standard zom-com if you're going to do that. This is a Korean film that involves zombies. And so there's a lot of comedic moments throughout the film. Some are better than others. The audience, they tended to like a lot of it. I wasn't really feeling the comedy in this film, unfortunately. But I don't feel the comedy in a lot of films, so that's why I'm saying don't take my word for it being funny or not. I'm not the best judge of that. But the audience seemed to. I mean, the guy beside me, he said like he was dying. He was dying. Like he was laughing all the time. I was just like, that was funny. All right, whatever. There you go. So yeah. So I judging by audience participation, this is a funny film. That being said, it is slightly gory. It's a zombie film, so there is some gore going on. But it is more about the comedic drama going on with this family. That's a Korean thing. That you watch so many Korean films, it's just like, it's all about that family dynamic and how they bicker back and forth, or how they love back and forth, or, the relationship between brother and sister and stuff like that. One of the funny things that's really funny about this film is the younger daughter, zombie teenager. You know how I said it was a rom-com? That's the rom-com. And of course, there's also, the one brother and the sister-in-law who are married, and she's pregnant. So there's also that dynamic. There's a little bit of rom-com type stuff going on there as well. But mostly it's about this zombie and the girl. Not that the movie's about it, but that's the rom-com element, which is kind of funny. And yeah, so it's one of those films that I felt, I mean, at 2 hours long, I felt it was a little long, but that's not necessarily a long Korean film. I know there's a lot of Korean films that are way beyond that, but for North American audiences, yeah, this will probably seem like it drags out a little bit. But I do think that it's cute. It's very, very cute. It has moments that are very, very off the wall and not standard. And then it has a bunch of stuff that's pretty standard. Essentially what's going to happen through most of the film. So it's not really surprising. But it is those few little moments here and there that kind of hit you and are unexpected. I think those were the gems of the film. Those were the moments that were probably what I found the most entertaining and most funny. The ones that I didn't see coming or were unexpected. But yeah, if I had to rate the film, I'd say it's probably a 2.5 out of 5. I think it could have been funnier. I think it could have been gorier. I think it could have been a little bit more action-y. But actually, it'd probably be more around a 2, but I'm going to pump it up to a 2.5 because I did like the ending. The ending is not quite your typical Korean ending, and it's not. It's one of those things where the director, you know, I think somebody had said that this ending is not something you would really see coming in the first 10 minutes of the film. You know, sometimes you watch the first 10 minutes of a film and you already know what the ending's going to be. This one, yeah, may not figure it out. Partially because this film kind of goes all off in different directions, so you never really know what the story is going to be about. If you hadn't seen the trailer, and you just went into it blind, not knowing, just knowing that it was a zombie apocalypse or a zombie comedy. We'll just call it a zombie comedy. If that's all you knew going into it, it goes off in all sorts of different directions and tells different stories. And so you may not realize where it's going. You know, at the beginning at least. The more story gets told, then obviously it's clear to see what's going to be happening, but still. Yeah, I thought the performances were good. I thought the directing overall was good. I would have looked for a little bit more from it, a little bit more upbeat from it. And I did find that the comedy was a little flat. But like I said, that was just me. Everybody else seemed to be laughing their heads off. So, yeah. That being the case, I'm going to give it a recommend based off of, you know, what the crowd was feeling, obviously, more so than what I was feeling. This is a film, as long as you're into foreign films and you don't mind reading them, because obviously this is in Korean, you got to read the subtitles. I'll say it time and time again, if you don't watch foreign films and you don't read the subtitles, you are missing out on most of what is available to you, or available to everybody. And some of that stuff is amazing. I wouldn't say this is amazing, but it's entertaining, it's good, and it's definitely worthwhile checking out. So, yeah, I mean, and of all the things, it's such a weird, long name for a title, right? Like, The Odd Family Zombie on Sale. That doesn't really... Honestly, that doesn't sell me. And the poster for it is terrible. But, yeah. I don't know, the trailer was good. The trailer is good. So if you want to check out the trailer for this film, give it a look-see. It'll give you an idea of what the film's about. And if you're at all interested after the trailer, there you go. I think the trailer is a good indication of what the film's like. So, yeah. Odd Family Zombie on Sale. I think most people will like it. I think most people will like it. It's almost family fun, almost, but no. Anyways, more 31 Days of Horror and Toronto After Dark coverage coming up. Thanks for watching. If you're into Korean films, zombie films, if you've seen this film, comment down below. We'd love to hear from you, and I'll probably reply. You may think I'm completely nuts in what I'm saying, but hey, them is my opinions, and I'm gonna tell them the way they are. And this is off the cuff. I don't write any of this stuff down, so I could change my mind tomorrow. Anyways, thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one. Now it sounds like I'm peeing in the video.